Hello, my name is Shreya and welcome to another coffee discussion at CherryMinds. Last time we were discussing about the part of the body that we're training, our brain. We understood our brain in terms of its structure and we simplified our understanding of this complicated organ in terms of three functional layers. Today we'll discuss how those three layers interact with each other and produce a response to the outside environment. We'll also be knowing about some of the structures of the brain that we can actually change. So let's go. So let's talk about three layers. Layer 1, the reptilian part of the brain, which is the acquired part of the brain, has structure called as basal ganglia. Layer 2 has structure such as limbic system, which also has brain parts of amygdala and hippocampus. Followed by layer 3, the neocortex part of the brain, which is also responsible for conscious thought and our inner speech. So let's try and understand how these three layers interact with each other. These layers interact with each other via two communication routes. The first communication route is called the top-down processing route. In this communication route, your L3, the functional part of the brain, receives the stimulus from the outside and activates your layer 2 emotional part of the brain, which in turn activates layer 1. So let's take an example. Suppose the stimulus on the outside is a tiger. Layer 3 processes the stimulus and activates an emotional response in L2. Now this response can be fear. This then activates L1, which is a survival part of the brain, which then increases your heart rate. The second communication pathway is called the bottom-up processing pathway, in which in any stress response, your layer 2 part of the brain produces an emotional reaction, which then activates layer 1. Layer 1 then interacts with layer 3 to take an appropriate behavioral action. So let's take an example. You're watching a series and your favorite character dies. Now, your brain cannot differentiate between a thought and a reality. So it's going to produce an emotional reaction in layer 2, which is then going to activate layer 1, which is going to inhibit processes of the functional layer of layer 3. Now, either you will be numb or you'll start crying without thinking that if it's a character or a real person died. You see how these three layers interact with each other, and this interaction between the various layers of the brain in turn affects how we interact with ourselves, our inner speech and our thoughts. So thank you. With this, today I end this coffee discussion, and I hope that this understanding has brought about more curiosity in you in knowing about the power of the brain and how you can enhance this power to bring about fruitful changes in your everyday life.